All right, good afternoon, guys. Today we're going to start another series about what we started last week. Last week, if you remember, we went through some common workplace hazard, that a lot of people actually overlook, right? However, for today, what we're going to be really going into, because I've received a lot of questions, several questions from my audience that they want to know about some of the answers that I did explain. So I have kind of created, several series, based on all of this hazard. However, if you if you see, still on the board, because I still have, some listed on the board, right? We talked about the different categories of hazard, last week in one of my series last week. And then we kind of went through all the different type of hazard, that we have, which is physical hazard, chemical hazard, biological hazard, economic hazards, excuse me, psychosocial hazard, and environmental hazard. So now, what really affects a lot of people, that's what I'm going to be talking about, right? So I'm going to have different series on all these categories, right? To kind of break it down, to my audience to see, some of the areas that they will be exposed to, right? So, with that being said, so this week and then subsequent week, what we're going to be doing is actually going into the physical hazard, right? Because that's what we see. Everybody sees around them, but they don't know if how they're exposed to this hazard, right? So, but today we're going to be breaking it down, for a lot of people, to see, for my audience in TikTok and also on YouTube, because we're live in both social media. So today, like I said, we're going to be going into the physical hazard, right? And then I'm going to pick, one of the different type of physical hazard, and then we'll kind of talk about it. However, if you have a question, like I said, you can always reach out to me through chat, through comments, and then I can able to bring down the your question and your concern to you, right? And it's very important, for this